Then, in his final appeal, the president said that just like the military action against Pakistan, we must wage a war against poverty. We must imitate our defense forces in attacking this problem of poverty. I welcome this suggestion because if it means that we are to follow the strategy and the tactics of our defense forces, we shall be dealing with these problems in a very practical manner. Our defense forces were not obsessed by any military theory. They were not attracted by these theories in the actual formulation of the strategy and tactics. They aimed at the objective that was given to them by the government, namely the defeat of Pakistani forces, and they made straight for the objective without thinking of any of these theories they may have learnt at the staff college. Similarly, if the government can go straight at its objectives without being obsessed by any ism, even their pet socialism, if they could deal with these problems of poverty in as practical and pragmatic manner as our defense forces, we would be able to deal with the problems of poverty successfully as the defense forces dealt with the problem of war. Then we should aim at the eradication of poverty in the most direct manner. Provision of employment is one of the methods for the eradication of poverty. It is not by the establishment and maintenance and running of prestigious projects like steel mills, heavy engineering works that will provide employment on a huge scale, on a million and crore scale. It is the small rural public works, village roads that will provide such employment. 50,000 village roads have to be built in order to remove economic disparities in the country. Nearly 40,000 villages are yet to be provided with safe drinking water. About the construction of rural houses, as the plan project says, 60 million honor are to be constructed or reconstructed. If we consider all these objects without being bothered by ism and theories and ideologies, we will be able to achieve these objects. With regard to industries, more employment potential is possible in the small scale sector, in the modernization of our village industries, making these village industries viable by taking them away from the villages and putting them at more economically viable centers like the panchayat samitis. It is by such means that we can eradicate poverty, that we can solve the problem of poverty as we have solved the problem of the Pakistan war. And the Prime Minister and her party are in a position to do that. They have secured a massive mandate. They have got majority in every one of the states. All the states are behind her. Even the Tamil Nadu state, the government of which belongs to another party, has a socialist party like the central government. It has a socialist creed. You read their manifesto. All they ask for is autonomy, which is guaranteed under the Constitution of India. Housing is the crying social need of the country. According to an official report, 60 million rural houses have to be constructed or reconstructed in order to make them habitable or fit for human habitation. Nothing is being done in that direction and nothing is mentioned in the presidential address in regard to that crying need. All that is said in the address is that free land sites will be provided for landless labor. What about ordinary farmers who live in hovels, not even in decent huts? Then, with regard to foreign policy, I have been one of those who welcomed it. I looked upon it as a breakthrough in our foreign policy of non-alignment. This is the first great alliance that we have made with a foreign power. We should not stop there. The Indo-Soviet Treaty must be followed by an Indo-US Treaty asking for the mutual cooperation and help. It should also be followed by an Indo-Chinese treaty so that cooperation will be not with one power only but with a number of powers, and the alliances may balance and counterbalance each other. Otherwise, if only one state is to be our ally, it will thrust us into its sphere of influence. There is one dangerous clause in the Indo-Soviet Treaty which provides for mutual consultation in times of war risks. Now, mutual consultation between equal powers is fairly safe, but mutual consultation between a strong power and a power which is not strong, between a bear and a lamb, would not be very useful to the lamb. I must congratulate the government on one thing. Now, for the first time in the history of presidential address, in the history of the government foreign policy statements, the word non-alignment does not find a place, because I feel it means a change of attitude in our foreign policy, and I hope the period of non-alignment will be followed by a period of alliance, by a period of cooperation, not with one power but with a number of powers, and the area of cooperation would be enlarged amongst a number of powers. Now I turn to the new bills that are promised. The government intends to bring before Parliament the Untouchability Offences Amendment Bill. Punishment will be provided for those who offend against the Untouchability Act. A bill is also promised to deal with economic offences. Now, offences in the legal sense are actions against public order, against the state. And looking at the items in the bracket, we find that it is only customs offences, excise offences that are to be proceeded against. Customs offences, excise offences, and income tax offences are all against the state. Why call them economic offences? There is a danger in that, because if you sanction economic offences, you may go on sanctioning social offences, political offences, and so on. And therefore, there will be no end to the increasing offences.